And welcome into this special edition of ACAP Today for the week after Thanksgiving, the week of November 29th, 2021. I'm Jason Parent with the Aroostook County Action Program. The reason why this edition is going to be a special one is in lieu of our traditional feature interview at the end of the news segment. This week, we are going to actually feature a recording of an information session that ACAP held for the community earlier this month. The information session featured a number of different ACAP programs that are intended to help individuals who may be challenged, especially heading into the cold winter months. We thought that our ACAP Today viewers would benefit from this information that we shared with some of our community stakeholder partners and others who participated in the live webinar. What you're going to see at the end of the news broadcast is a recording of that session in early November, in which several members of the ACAP team presented in a brief way on their programs and some interaction with some of the individuals that we had as our guests in that seminar who asked questions about our programs, many questions that you members of the public may have as well. So we encourage you to stay tuned for that special broadcast of the ACAP information session that was held for our community earlier this month. We think that you'll find it interesting, and hopefully you can pass along the information to other individuals who may benefit from some of the programs and services that you're going to hear about in just a little bit. But before we get to that part of our special broadcast today, we are first going to go to the news and information that you can use, as we do at every point in our broadcast. And we are going to begin again this week of November 29th, 2021, with a little bit of gratitude and thanks to our community. We want to first of all say thank you to all of you out there who donated generously for the Helping Hands for Warm and Safe Homes telethon. We have exceeded the $70,000 mark, and that is just phenomenal and fantastic and right in line with what we were able to raise last year through your generosity. That $70,000 will go a long way towards helping individuals stay warm and safe in their homes in the coming winter months. And with the rising cost of fuel, we want to make sure that that does in fact happen. Now, we do encourage folks out there who think they may be able to get assistance this year or maybe in need of assistance in the coming heating season to please reach out to us, because the Home Energy Assistance Program is continuing to take applications. And that program guidelines for income eligibility have expanded, and you'll be hearing more about that and seeing those guidelines in the coming segment that is going to follow the news, the community information session that I mentioned earlier. So again, thank you especially to our partners, United Way of Aroostook and WAGM TV, for their partnership that made raising over $70,000 for individuals here in Aroostook County possible. We also want to say thank you to our members of our own team, specifically 5 individuals who are all have all served the agency for 40 or more years. We welcome 3 new additional team members to that class, that impressive class of honorees, last Friday, or Friday the 19th, I should say, in Dyer Brook. And this was a picture taken from that ceremony. Our new 40-year milestone honorees are Sue Powers, ACAP Senior Director of Programs, Linda Sloan-White, who is a family advocate working out of our RSU 50 partnership in the Southern Aroostook Community School in Dyer Brook. And of course, Mary Duff, who is a job counselor working out of our Holton office, but with people across Aroostook County, especially youth looking to gain employment. So we congratulate and thank those 3 who joined, along with Randy Rattray, who actually has hit the 41-year milestone with our agency. Randy is the program coordinator for energy and housing programs and overseeing that to help ensure that people do stay safe and warm in their homes. And ACAP's longest serving employee, who has served now for 43 years, this agency, and that is Pat Good. We also thank 3 of our board members, our board chair, Trudy Gorno, who made the trip down to Dyer Brook with us, as well as Senator Trey Stewart, who was present in Dyer Brook as well and presented legislative sentiments to Randy, Sue, Mary, and Linda. And of course, Pat has already received one a couple of years ago, so we congratulate them. And also Senator Troy Jackson, Maine Senate President, also a member of the ACAP board, who participated in the ceremony remotely, and did join us. So we thank all of those individuals for being a part of this very special day. And again, congratulations to our 40-year honorees seen here holding their sentiments from the Maine State Legislature. In addition to their sentiments, we were very honored by Senators Jackson and Stewart to accept, Trudy Gorno, our board chair, and I, on behalf of ACAP, a sentiment from the legislature acknowledging that ACAP will be celebrating 50 years of service to the Aroostook County community in 2022. More information on that in the coming weeks as 2022 approaches, and we'll be looking forward to celebrating with you throughout the year ACAP's 50th anniversary. We also want to share with you today that our final homebuyer education class for the year 2021 is coming right up. It's on Saturday, December 11th. It will begin at 8 o'clock in the morning and will go to as long as 5 p.m. depending on the interaction and the number of questions that we receive. It will all be held virtually via Zoom. This is a HomeWorks homebuyer education class provided to us through Maine Housing and taught by ACAP's Don Wic, who is a new instructor working for the agency in this program. We encourage folks to register online. You can contact Don Wic at dwic@acap-me.org to start the registration process, or give him a phone call. His direct line is 207-554-4175. And if you are interested at all, there are a number of benefits to participating in this homebuyer education class, including waiving some of the closing costs and some other great benefits, including great interest rates through Maine Housing if you qualify for that program financially. So we encourage one and all who are interested in becoming homeowners in 2022 to participate in this last homebuyer education class of 2021. As we've shared with you in previous editions of ACAP Today, we have started a meal train for ACAP's Hope and Prosperity Resource Center, which is located at 1 Edgemont Drive in Presque Isle, in the location that many folks know throughout Aroostook County as the former Aroostook Area Agency on Aging office. Each day we have typically between 10 and 15 individuals, many of whom are experiencing homelessness, that spend a good part of the day with us in the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center. And this is to offer them a lunch, a noontime meal. We do have some frozen meals that we are able to provide individuals, but we have found that some community volunteers have been stepping up and making either hot meals or even bringing sandwiches for the team in the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center, the individuals we serve, I should say. And we certainly encourage you to be among those, especially if you enjoy cooking and want to contribute in this very special way to help individuals going through a difficult time. We encourage you to look on our Facebook page. You can see the meal train link there, and you can sign up for any available day. And we would love to have you treat them to a home cooked meal. Thank you so much for your consideration of that. We also want to let folks know that COVID booster vaccinations have been expanded to include everyone who's eligible in the state of Maine. In addition to that, shots, the primary vaccine for anyone age 5 and older, is now available. If you are having any difficulty finding an appointment or scheduling either your booster or your 5 and up year old to get their COVID vaccine, we encourage you to reach out to us. You can call us at 764-3721, and we'll be glad to help navigate some of the online registration sites. There's also a number of walk-in clinics that are being held throughout the area, and we'll pass that information on as we become aware. There's also the maine.gov/COVID-19/vaccines website that's listed there on your screen that you can check out to find out where vaccination clinics are happening for youth and adults in our area. Also, if you are in need of any assistance at all, and we haven't talked about it in this broadcast, or if you're about to listen to the community information forums that we held, and say, gosh, I could certainly use assistance with more than one of those programs, we encourage you to reach out to ACAP and connect with our navigators. The navigator team will be happy to help you connect with a number of services, both inside of our agency and outside of our agency, based upon your assessed need. Again, you can reach out to us at 764-3721, and we'd be happy to provide that service to you. And as we usually do at the end of our broadcast, but since we're going to be going right into the recorded community information forum, we do want to invite folks to consider joining our team. If you think you have what it takes and have a passion for doing the kind of work to help others like we do here at ACAP every day, we encourage you to look at some of our current openings on our website, acap-me.org, and check us out on Indeed as well. Some of the positions we have listed across the region are there on your screen. We also have a number of benefits that you can take advantage of as employees of the Aroostook County Action Program, including a $500 sign-on bonus for individuals who join our team at this time. And lastly, before we leave you today and head into the Community Information Forum that was held earlier this month, this is our snapshot of the week. Again, a huge thank you to all of our telethon volunteers. Here's some of them right here that include members of the local business community, some of our board members, and of course, some of our own ACAP employees and our partner friends from United Way of Aroostook and WAGM. This was one of the shifts, the mid-morning shift for the telethon, but we also had an early morning shift and a late day shift. And we thank all of those individuals who helped answer the phones, answer your calls, take your pledges, and make the magic happen to help raise over $70,000. And that's this week's news and information that you can use. We are now pleased to share with you the broadcast of our community information sessions. Please enjoy, please listen in, and if we can be of any assistance or any of the programs you think are a match for you and you are in need of those services, please do reach out to us, especially as we head into the cold season and the holiday season here. We would be happy to be of assistance to you. Thank you for watching. Have a great week. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this ACAP Community Information Session for November 3rd, 2021. I'm Jason Parent, the Executive Director at the Aroostook County Action Program, and it's a pleasure to welcome you all into this information session. What we wanted to do and have done in the past couple of information sessions is to really help the community prepare itself for the coming winter season. We realize that our programs, many of them are offered, or most of them, I should say, are offered year-round. But it's this time of year when more folks are seemingly in need of assistance as it relates to things like heating assistance or housing, as individuals want to stay warm and safe during the winter months. So over the years, we have done these community information sessions with faith-based community, municipalities, other nonprofit organizations, and partners that we work with on a regular basis to help them understand how they can better access the services that we offer and help their community members and the individuals that they serve better access our services. Given the additional breadth and scope of services that we are now offering as an agency, we have expanded this session to include some other critical programs that are available as a result of the country's response to the pandemic that are available right here in Aroostook County. I will say that this session is not comprehensive of all ACAP programs. For example, we don't necessarily touch on ACAP's prevention programs. We have over 40 programs in this agency, and we are proud of all of those programs, but this information session is more geared toward and focused on those services that provide emergency support for basic needs, if you will. So with that, we will get underway, and the first part of the session is to share with you just some brief overview items of what's to come with our agency, just things to be looking out for. And so with that, I wanted to share with the group, as many of you in this group are interested in this, that Aroostook County's next community assessment, as a community action agency, we are responsible for every 3 years doing a comprehensive community assessment. Our next such assessment results will be made available to the public prior to the end of this year. It will be presented, the results of the community assessment that was conducted over the spring, summer, and early fall will be presented to our board of directors first later this month. And then those will be released publicly by the month of December or within the month of December. So be on the lookout for those. It really helps us to identify and target the areas that we as a community action agency need to focus on to be responsive to the needs of our community. That community assessment will advise our next strategic plan. So a strategic planning process will commence once we receive and formally accept that community assessment and those results, which will help us determine several areas for us to focus our attention on in the coming 3-year cycle. So that process is to begin shortly, and we should have a new strategic plan by spring of next year that we will share with the community. In addition to that, I'm very happy to announce that 2022 is the 50th anniversary of the Aroostook County Action Program. It marks the year back in 1972 when the St. John Valley Community Action Council and the then Central Aroostook Community Action Agency merged to form what is present day ACAP. So we will be marking that occasion throughout 2022, and hopefully we'll have many of you join us for some of the celebrations and milestone achievements along the way. So we wanted to share those pieces of information with you. In addition, we also wanted to share with you that we are diligently working on this facility, which is 1 Edgemont Drive, which is now the location for not only our administrative headquarters here at ACAP, as we have grown with some of the pandemic era programs such as rental assistance and housing supports and the like. And so our administrative offices are located in this facility for the time being, as well as the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center and our prevention programs. The intent is over the next couple of years, in partnership with Maine Housing, we will be working to transition this facility into a 14-unit studio and 1-bedroom apartment units supportive housing complex, which will include on the ground level the Hope and Prosperity Wellness Center, which is currently at that location, but there will be some modifications obviously made to this building. So that's a project that we will be working on to address the housing shortage, or do our part, in part, to address the housing shortage here in Aroostook County over the next couple of years. So we do hope for an opening of this facility at some point in 2023. Beyond that, we wanted to share with you the good news that we have shared with the community in the last couple of weeks, that it does appear that our funding request for a congressionally directed spending allocation to develop a mobile service unit for Aroostook County will be going before the full House and Senate, thanks to the sponsorship of Senator Susan Collins and Senator Angus King. Should that be finalized and awarded, we will be working with the community to develop what the mobile service unit will look like, but it'll essentially allow us to take our programs and, working in partnership with other programs, those services directly into some of the more remote communities in Aroostook County where we don't presently have an office location or a service location to be able to serve individuals directly through. So we are excited about this. It will be an RV style unit that will be specially built to accommodate the services that we would be able to provide comprehensively to people in rural communities in Aroostook County. Next, I will turn it over to our Chief Operating Officer, Jamie Chandler, who will talk to you about the new approaches that we are taking here at ACAP as it relates to our concept of 1 ACAP. Jamie?
Thanks, Jason. Welcome, everyone. This is our third session, and so we should have all of the kinks ironed out for our presentation. So thank you all for joining us this afternoon. I wanted to talk to you all just about a shift in the way that we are delivering our services here at ACAP. First and foremost, we are working on developing what we're calling a universal intake process. And essentially what that means is that we have one agency database, and information when you come in for services, to receive services here at the agency, your information will be entered into that database, basic demographic information. And essentially what that will allow us the ability to do is look at what other programs within the agency that you may be eligible for. And essentially what will happen is your information will be entered into the system. When you meet with staff, with program staff for the particular program that you are meeting with them to discuss, they may be able to get you directly connected through our system to other programs that you might be eligible for. So it's a way to make referrals within our ACAP programs more seamless and easier for you. The other really neat thing about this opportunity that we have with this database is that we can collect information. So if you have proof, for example, or a driver's license that is required for one program, and we scan a copy of that into our database, it's available so that other programs, if they need that piece of information for your eligibility for that particular program, you wouldn't have to present that driver's license again. So some unique components to that. One thing we do want to let folks know is that, especially if you're used to coming in for, let's say, a half-hour appointment, perhaps your appointment might be a little bit longer. Because we are able to get you connected with other programs, we may be able to provide you services for multiple programs at that one visit. So just be aware that perhaps if your time allows, we may be able to get you connected to multiple services in the same day. Additionally, we are working really closely cross-collaboratively and across programs. We've implemented navigators across our agency to help support individuals who need to get connected to other services. One of the components that we discovered throughout the pandemic was that we had a number of people who were coming to ACAP for the first time needing services. They had never needed services from us before. And so having access to a navigation team that can help get information, gather information from our customers and get them connected to the services that will best meet their needs is extremely beneficial. And so our staff are working with the navigators and across programs to serve you seamlessly and as easily as we can. We're also working together in our outreach efforts. So we have staff that Jason mentioned our prevention programs. We have a number of our programs that are out in the community doing a great amount of work, but we do offer 40 programs. And so during one of our summer events, it was discovered that there were a lot of questions around our heating assistance program at a prevention event. And we didn't have the information necessary to answer a lot of the questions. And so we are thinking a lot differently about how we as an organization engage with the community and making sure that we have access to information and staff to help answer those questions when we are out and about within the community. We also are working across programs that serve similar customers. So if you are, for example, an individual who has children under the age of 5, we may ask you questions about if you have access to high quality childcare, or if you are enrolled in our Women, Infants, and Children's Food and Nutrition program. And if you're not, we may work with you to get you connected to those programs if you're so interested. So, so a lot of collaboration is happening to make sure that you are connected to services so that we can serve you in a very comprehensive way. And essentially what that does is it leads to improved outcomes for the customers that we serve, which is ultimately the goal that we are all working toward, is to make sure that individuals who are accessing our services are able to make their lives better. And so we are able to do that by providing these comprehensive services to you. So Jason, that's just a small introduction to our One ACAP and comprehensive service delivery, and I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Jamie. Hopefully, those of you who are joining us today will sort of understand that as we talk through a number of different programs, which we're going to begin with now shortly. Just a quick note, we're able to give you a very high-level overview, but we're trying to give you the pertinent information in terms of how people connect with our programs, can connect with our programs, and perhaps qualify for our programs or better understand how they may qualify for our programs in this session. So we understand that not all of your questions may be answered by what we share, but we do want to answer your questions, and there's 2 ways that you can do that. One, we have reserved an open question and answer period at the end of today's session, where we'll be able to certainly have you feed those comments in directly to us verbally, unmute yourself and do that way. In the meantime, if you have questions on specific programs and don't want to lose those, don't want to forget those, and we can try to have the presenter sort of provide you with the answer while they're speaking, I encourage you to use the chat feature in today's Zoom session and post your question there so that we can address it to the individual who will be speaking at that given time, or go back to them as necessary to ensure that your question is answered, because we do want to get you the information that you need to be able to help connect people to our programs today. And so we're going to begin that process of doing an overview of programs. And we'll begin with one that's very top of mind today, and that's with Shannon Hill, who will be presenting now on our heating assistance and related programs. So Shannon, over to you.
Thanks, Jason. So yeah, definitely on top of our minds today, especially. I had to get out the scraper on my windshield this morning. So I think heating is first and foremost going to be our concern from here on out. So I'm here today. I'm going to talk about the Home Energy Assistance Program. We call it HEAP. This is an income-based program to help supplement your heating costs. You know, as much as we would love to be able to cover the entire cost, we're not always able to do that. So this program is just meant to help supplement those heating costs. This benefit can be used for whatever they use to heat their home, whether it's oil or Caro, propane, wood, pellets, or if they have electric heat. So on the screen, we're going to show the guidelines for the program. Again, this year, the guidelines have expanded to allow more individuals to be eligible in the program. So if you know of anybody in the past that was denied because they were literally a couple dollars short from hitting that guideline, definitely encourage them to call in this season, because more than likely they'll be eligible this time around. Also new this year is the 1 month income requirement. In the past, they have gone back 3 months of income. So this year it's 1 month or 30 days that you have to show proof of income for, and that's the income that we will use to base your eligibility on. So who should apply for this? Honestly, everyone, homeowners, renters, you know, especially seniors, households with children under the age of 2, or individuals at the risk of hypothermia. Definitely give us a call. If you are a standing client, then every year your heating assistance appointment is made and you automatically get that letter. But definitely anybody out there or know of anyone that has not applied in the past, please give them our number and have them give us a call, and we would love to get them in. We are doing our very best right now to get all those new individuals in early this season. The number to call here for an appointment is 768-3053. So this year we are offering both phone and in-person interviews. So primarily most are phone interviews, but if the individual would like to come in and do a face-to-face, we would love and encourage them to do that as well. We were fortunate enough, the entire state was, this fall we received great news. There was some extra money, and that was put towards the fuel assistance program. So everyone got an extra supplemental payment that applied last year. So if they applied last year, they got the same exact benefit that they received last year in October of this year. So that is wonderful that those individuals will be able to start the heating season off this year with something already in their tank to go and not have to worry about that. Because of that, that has made our ESIP, which is our Energy Crisis Intervention Program, which started November 1st, is taking the burden off that a little bit right now. I suspect that will change, but for right now, it seems as though everyone is doing good, and they've got some heat and fuel in the tank. So we love hearing that. So lastly, I'd just like to say that we are looking forward to November 18th. This is going to be our annual Keep Me Warm and Safe telethon. This event is so important to us. Individuals that for whatever reason do not qualify for HEAP or ESIP, these donation dollars help bridge that gap to ensure that everyone is staying warm and safe this winter in their home. So that's all I got. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Shannon. Again, folks, if you have any questions on this, please, again, feel free to post them in the chat room, or we can certainly take questions at the end of this session. We're going to move on now to programs related, and these are new programs, pandemic era related programs related to rental and utility assistance. And for that, we are going to transition to Priscilla Steves, who oversees our rental assistance program. So Priscilla, it is yours.
Good afternoon. I'm Priscilla. I work in the rental assistance program. We are a income-based program, and we help any and all renters that qualify. They can apply either over the phone or on the internet. With this program, we do assist with back rent, current rent and future rent, along with electricity, water, sewer, trash, and internet. You're up to 18, they qualify for up to 18 units until they are no longer eligible for the program. If this program has changed its rules, so it's no longer, the applicants no longer need to be impacted by COVID as long as they meet the income eligibility guidelines. The payments normally go to the landlord. However, if the landlord feels that they do not want to participate in this program, we can send the money right straight to the tenant as long as they provide us with a receipt afterwards. The guidelines in our program, a household of just one tenant, as long as their income is less than $3,700, I'm sorry, yeah, $37,700, they are eligible for this program. Right now, it looks like we are close to 4,500 tenants that is using our program, and we are staying currently right up to date with our guidelines. So we're hoping to speed up the process a little, even though I do know that sometimes the landlords do get impatient for waiting, but we are working as fast as we possibly can. We also help with emergency fuel if they are a renter at this time.
And Priscilla, thank you. We did have a question that was asked in the chat, and one of your colleagues here at ACAP, Kylie Pelletier, assisted with that. You had mentioned that there were 18, it was available for 18 units, and by units you did mean months, correct?
Well, yes and no. Housing is using the name units, although it does qualify as months. It just means that if somebody needs their rent paid in January, February, and March, and they needed their electric paid in December, that just means that we are using 4 units there because they had to use December for something other than rent. If they have rent and utilities in the same month, that is 1 unit. But if they are in different months, then it would be 2. So we have to be on our toes for that as well.
Great. Thank you for that clarification. Much appreciated. And thank you for your presentation on that program again. Our team is available to answer any questions beyond this session as well. If you have any questions, Priscilla can certainly take calls. If you think of anything else in the course of this session, please don't hesitate to post it or talk about it when we are inquire verbally when we're in that portion of the presentation. We are now going to move on to programs that provide food assistance specifically for families. And the supervisor of our WIC program, Rochelle Roy, is going to do an overview of those. So Rochelle, I am going to spotlight you for everyone.
Thank you, Jason. Like Jason said, my name is Rochelle Roy, and I supervise the WIC program here at ACAP. The WIC program, or also known as Women, Infants, and Children, is a federal program that is administered here at ACAP. Our program is for pregnant, breastfeeding, postpartum moms, and children from age birth to 5. We are an income-based program. However, our eligibility guidelines are set at 185% of the poverty guideline, which is quite high, and many working families are able to take advantage of our program as well. We also aren't just for families as defined as with moms and dads, we could possibly, serve foster parents, guardians, kinship placements, and great grandparents that are raising their grandchildren. So we certainly provide a lot of services for the children in different family dynamic needs. And what is WIC? Well, WIC is a nutrition and breastfeeding education program. And what we do is provide nutrition assessments, feeding tips, breastfeeding support. We monitor growth. We monitor development. And then we provide monthly healthy food benefits. This is all provided in a much easier, convenient way now than before the pandemic. Once the pandemic hit, we were in the midst of launching our Wic process, which put everything right on a card, which makes shopping so much more convenient and easier for our families, more discreet. You don't have to worry about people even knowing that you're taking advantage of the program. You go to the checkout, you slide your card, and off you go. Plus, you're able to purchase your items as you need them, where that wasn't always the case before. And with the pandemic and foods sometimes being within a shortage or hard time getting certain foods, it's a good thing that we're able to have that flexibility. Our families, starting during the pandemic, were getting an allotted amount of fruits and vegetables. Well, this past summer, USDA, they had trialed a process of every mom and child getting $35 of fruits and an additional $35 of fruits and vegetables per month. Well, they took a look at that data. That was for June, July, August, and September. And now that October had hit, they went back and they reassessed it. And now they've gone ahead and added additional fruits and vegetables in. So they see the need of the healthy foods that are needed here in the community. As far as breastfeeding support, we have 4 certified lactation counselors right here on staff. We are willing and able to help with whatever breastfeeding support or any issues you might have. So certainly come see us. With the WIC program, what we do is we're an outreach program where we go to you. We are in 6 different communities across the county. And with the with the pandemic happening, we've had the opportunity, to be able to provide a lot of telehealth. So when families couldn't come in or didn't have the transportation or were homesick, we're able to do some of those appointments over the phone and go ahead and provide benefits and see them maybe the next time, which has been a huge thing for our families, having that flexibility. So that's what the WIC program has done for our programs, or for our families. We also have other programs across ACAP. We've been able to have community cupboards at different locations, which has been wonderful and accessed by many, many individuals and families across the county. So you take what you need or leave something if you'd like, something that's available for anyone. We've also here at ACAP have the opportunity to provide the SNAP education program, which is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program here. We provide nutrition education in both the Southern Aroostook, and I'm happy to say that we have hired on somebody for the Central Aroostook area. So these are direct education classes that people can take advantage of. They help with ways to increase fruits and vegetables in your diet. How can your family be more active? Making healthy choices, budgeting, those are all ways and things that anybody could take advantage of, quite frankly. It's a time where, it's a great thing to learn. So certainly we have many programs here at ACAP. So please reach out. We're here. Just give us a call and you can be connected to all these programs, and we'd love to help.
Great. Thank you so much, Rochelle. Before we move on to the next program, some of these questions are being answered. Thank you in the chat. but we have a question here for I think Shannon. This would be best addressed to you. Virginia wants to know how long it takes to hear back once someone has applied for heating assistance, and how do we know if they have been cross-referenced to other programs? I was told I'd get a call back and haven't heard. So talk about that process if you would.
Sure. So when an individual comes in for your appointment, the application is taken. If it's a phone application, then at the end of that appointment, the intake worker is going to take all the documents that require your signature and put it all together and send it to you in the mail. You then have up to 20 days to get all that documentation back to us in order for us to certify your file. And once all those documents are there and our certification team has been able to verify all that, then your file is considered certified. And then it is then forwarded to main housing as complete, and main housing will process a payment and forward that to the appropriate vendor. This can take up to 8 weeks. In the guidelines, we do have up to 8 weeks to do this. But typically, I would say it happens more within 4 to 6 weeks. And certainly if there is an emergency, a no heat situation, or a non-working furnace, we do have scheduled times where we can get that done even quicker in order to accommodate those situations.
Great, Shannon. And the other part of that question was about the knowing how, if they've been cross-referenced for other programs. So I'm imagining that this was a HEAP contact, and with the navigators that we are now having go back and work with customers who are qualifying for the home energy assistance program. Talk about the process that happens there and about how long after their HEAP initial appointment they will get contacted by a navigator.
Yep. So if they are not transferred to a navigator right at the completion of their appointment, or if they're in person brought physically to the navigator, usually within a week, that navigator will reach out to them. They're provided a list of the appointments the prior week of. So they will call. So it usually takes about a week before you would hear from a navigator at most.
Great. Thank you, Shannon. And Rochelle, I think Heidi's covered this. There was a question about WIC and whether WIC counted for a unit, and that was in reference to the rental assistance program. But WIC is a completely separate program, and you're not limited to just the 18 months or 18 units in WIC, are you?
No, it's actually up to 5 years of age, as long as you potentially continue to qualify. So I think I did see a question too, Jason, regarding breast pumps. WIC does provide hospital grade breast pumps. We have a loaner program. So what we have are double pumps that we provide the pump, plus we provide the pump kits to go along with it. And we have a bunch of other breastfeeding support items that we provide our moms with as well. So please reach out. It's at no cost to you. And all we need is the pump back when you're done.
Great, thank you. Continuing on sort of that theme of moms and dads, one of the areas that we recognize that there's a huge need for, and we're working diligently to try to grow our own ability to serve more individuals, is in the need for affordable and convenient childcare services. And so we're going to talk about those now, and we're going to go to Megan Barnes, who is the Director of Programs for Early Care and Education Programs. So I will send it to you, Megan.
Hello, everyone. ACAP Early Care and Education Centers are private childcare programs that use the state of Maine's market rates as our fee structures. There are no income guidelines to qualify for childcare slots across the county. Vouchers and childcare subsidies are accepted as forms of payment, as well as the private fees. So with vouchers and childcare subsidies, our staff works at the time of interest, or when we get the application back. We work with families to complete the voucher application or the subsidies to mail into the childcare or DHHS to support the families in securing additional funds to be able to access affordable childcare. Our childcare programs across the county are open from 6 a.m. to 5:30 Monday through Friday. We offer quality childcare options for families in Presque Isle, Caribou, Holton, and most recently, our Fort Kent Center, which will be scheduled to open on November 29th. ACAP has expanded childcare opportunities into Fort Kent based on the community need. We are currently preparing to open the infant toddler room, which allows us to support families in accessing additional 8 slots, because as infant and toddlers, which consist of 0 to 3 years of age, the maximum group size for childcare licensing is 8. So we are going to open those 8 slots, and this will serve infants and toddlers from 6 weeks of age to 3 years. ACAP is also in the process of opening an additional preschool duration room with wraparound childcare services at our Presque Isle Gouldville Center. We have quite a lengthy wait list in the central area of the county. And we've made the determination that along with our educational opportunities and services that we provide, there's families still with the need of a longer day due to their own family needs. So we've determined that need to be best placed in our next venture to be in the Presque Isle area. This will provide an additional 18 slots for children 3 to 6 years of age, whose families may need to access that childcare service to extend that service day for those families. ACAP provides quality education based for children 6 weeks to 6 years of age. The program is based on providing care, which is the primary reason that families come to us needing childcare, is based on their schedules. But within that service, we provide a quality education experience that offers a developmental curriculum and is based to meet the individual needs and interests of each child enrolled. The program offers language-rich and nurturing environments by certified trained staff for children and provides nutritious meals and snacks that are approved by the USDA meal guidance. To apply for a childcare slot, interested parties can visit our website at www.acap-me.org and access the application to be placed on the wait list. Our enrollment specialist that's responsible for all childcare enrollment will get in touch to support the fee process and determine the fee agreement based on the payer source. She will also provide information around availability of slots and other information that may need to be provided by the family. I do want to mention that in our early care and education program, we also offer Head Start and Early Head Start services. And there's been quite a bit of legislation to support continued expansion of universal pre-K to all 4-year-olds, as well as childcare throughout the county. ACAP continues to explore opportunities to expand on community needs, as well as partner with community agencies to provide quality childcare opportunities, as well as that universal pre-K initiative. This supports school readiness goals. It also improves outcomes for ongoing school success for young children. Currently, we are in the process of expanding services by partnering with community school districts, as well as other community agencies. Hopefully, this will allow us to put a small dent in the crisis around quality, affordable childcare, as well as extending those educational services to all 4-year-olds in the county, because we know that that is where our priorities should lie, because that's our future.
Thank you very much, Megan. We have a question that's been posted in the chat about our early care and education services, and it does ACAP help with childcare for children older than 6 years of age?
Currently, we do not, because of our license with DHHS. We are licensed to provide care from 6 weeks to 6 years of age. It is an area that we have explored, and we're currently actually in talks with a local family childcare facility to see what we can do about those older school age kiddos. So it's something that you may see more of in the future in the news or being advertised. Currently, we don't, but it's not something that's out of the question.
Thank you, Megan. Moving on, next, we're going to move from childcare services or early care and education services onto navigation and coaching services, which, as was explained earlier by our COO, Jamie Chandler, a huge part of our effort here at the agency is to really provide that comprehensive level of service for individuals. And the person who's been really leading that charge for us since we really began to take it on a few years ago, or 5 years ago now, is Heidi Radcliffe, who's our other director of programs. And so Heidi, we're going to pass it over to you to talk about our navigation and coaching services.
Perfect. Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Heidi Radcliffe. I'm the director of programs here and super excited to be able to spend the next 5 minutes talking to you about a program or a couple of programs that are near and dear to my heart. Coaching is a service that we provide. We have many different layers of coaching. And so eligibility really depends on a multitude of factors. It's an approach that we wanted to ensure that we were helping people through the process. As you know, social service systems can be incredibly overwhelming. And so with coaching and navigation, we were providing someone to not only connect them to these services within our organization, but also externally as well. And so I'll explain the difference in navigation and coaching really briefly beyond what Jamie just spoke about and others previously. But navigation is really a touch point to be able to put in your income information and your household size and be able to say, these are all of the services and program within our organization that can help you. After that, we connect you with those programs and services. We do that work. We send an email directly, and then you can expect a response back from that individual. Right now, we have about 5 navigators covering the entire Aroostook County, and they're literally doing about 800 cases or phone calls to families in the run of a month. So we have 800 families reached out and offered navigation services. And then we have coaching services, which is more in depth. We have A16 coaching, which really focuses on a high energy reduction for people. So it's focusing on helping to teach people financial literacy. And as they complete each task, they get incentivized by a portion of that, a payment going to their electricity bill or their heating source. We provide them tips and tricks for how to keep their home energy and conserve energy safe and conserve as much energy as possible. And then we have whole family coaching, which is really a service that we provide for individuals who are enrolled in our early Head Start and Head Start program. And we've been really successful in being able to show that if you're working simultaneously with the children enrolled as well as the parents, you can help that entire household move from potentially crisis to thriving. And so our coaches work in depth, one-on-one, holding hands with the families, walking them through the stages of the services and programs. It's assessments, it's goal creating, it's really that one-on-one assistance that's very intentional and an ongoing program and service. Right now we have about 239 households that are receiving coaches services all through Aroostook County. We have 10 coaches, which is amazing because 13 years ago it was 1, and we've moved from 1 to 15 between our navigation and coaches services together. So I think that's basically what I wanted to share with you. Eligibility for straight coaching is typically under 200% of poverty. So again, it's an income eligible program, but we also provide straight coaching for any individual that wants that level of services that does not meet the eligibility requirement for the other programs that are specific. So we have the ability to provide this service to everybody in Aroostook County who has the need and the want. We just have to stick them in the right funding source to be able to do that. So thank you for letting me share coaching and navigation with you.
Great, thank you, Heidi. We, in a related service that we are now going to move on to, we've been expanding greatly over the last few years our work with individuals experiencing homelessness or those who are housing insecure, including the establishment of a day center here in Presque Isle to serve both residents of Homeless Services of Aroostook Sister Mary O'Donnell Shelter, but also other individuals who just need to use the facility, need a warm place to be during the day, or want to be in a place that can connect them with technology and help them find housing and employment. And so related to that and overseeing that space and our coaching team under Heidi is Jeannie Fox. And so Jeannie, we're going to move over to you.
I'm looking at it, I'm like, why isn't it working? Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jeannie Fox. I am the program manager here at the Hope and Prosperity Wellness Center, or Resource Center, I'm sorry. And yes, we are here located at 1 Edgemont Drive. We opened a little over 2 years ago at our 771 Main Street. And as Jason just mentioned, we opened up to give our homeless population a place to come during the day when they were asked to leave the homeless shelter of Aroostook. And when they're with us, they're able to work with our coaches, our navigators. They're able to work on job search, or if they are in need of, they're looking for a place to live. If they may have a need for to get their driver's license or main ID, they also may need food stamps or main care. And those are all services that we're able to offer them. They come in, they meet with a coach, they do a little chit chat. Hey, what can we do for you today? And it's working very well. It's exciting. Today we had one of our coworkers from our main office made a big container of shepherd's pie and a dessert as well. And she'd let us know that she was bringing it over. And boy, we had some happy residents here today. They were very happy with that. And that's the goal here. We want them to come. We want them to feel safe. We also want them to feel heard. We want to have that conversation with them and find out what their needs are. And we're going to work with them to help them have a better life, or help them where they want to go. A lot of the coaches, one of the philosophy for coaches is the client is in the driver's seat. We don't meet with somebody and say, oh, well, you need to work on this, this, and that. We meet with them and we ask them, what do you want to work with? How can we help you today? So, and I am saying a lot about the residents from HSA, but we're open to anybody in the community that needs to meet with somebody. They may need help with filling out an application. They may need help with doing a Social Security form, or they may just have a few questions that they've received a letter from DHHS and they're not quite sure what that means. And we are here to help. It's awesome. Our program has grown leaps and bounds, and it's just a wonderful feeling to know that at the end of the day that we have helped somebody. So that's what happens here at the Hope and Prosperity Resource Center at 1 Edgemont Drive. Please tell everybody that you see that may need anything. Please give us a call or stop in and visit. Thank you, Jason.
Thank you very much, Jeannie. Again, I'm just going to check here. Okay, we don't have any new questions for you or for anyone at this point. But again, if you do have any, please feel free to drop them in the chat at any point. We're going to move from services that the agency offers for individuals experiencing homelessness. But before we do that, I'm going to just ask Teresa Dow to add one quick addition to that, and that's our soon to come increased services for youth experiencing homelessness. Teresa?
Hi, yes, good afternoon. My name is Teresa Dow, and I'm the Director of Programs here at ACAP. Not Director of Programs, I'm sorry, Program Coordinator for our Housing Stability division or section. So in the upcoming months, we're going to be starting a new program here at ACAP called the Youth Homeless Demonstration Project. And this is going to be a program that has two components. The first is going to be it's a piece that's referred to as mobile diversion. So going out in the community and making those connections with youth that are experiencing homelessness between the ages of 16 and 24. These are kind of smaller services, but important ones nonetheless. So maybe helping them with meeting an emergent need like clothing or food, things of that nature, maybe connecting them to services. And then the other piece that we're going to be doing is something around transitional housing and rapid rehousing. This is a different program. The age demographic is a little bit different. It's between the ages of 18 to 24. So looking to find and serve youth that are experiencing homelessness, not only in Aroostook County, but also Washington County, to hopefully be able to place them relatively quickly, even though we are experiencing a housing shortage across the state, into safe and stable housing. This is going to be completely driven by the youth. So kind of along the same things that Jeannie had mentioned. When they come in and they meet with us, if they have goals that they're wanting to work on and to direction that they want to go in, and goals they want to move towards, whether it could be obtaining and completing high school, maybe working towards their HiSET, which used to be referred to as, it's a little bit different, but the GED, maybe attending college, just finding employment. Those are all things that we're going to be working on with them. And again, with the youth in the driver's seat. So this could also mean that we're able to assist with completing important referrals for mental health counseling, helping them maybe apply for main care eligibility, or in some instances, potentially also substance misuse treatment. So we're very excited to be able to kind of dive into a little bit newer of an arena as far as the rapid rehousing and transitional housing piece. But we're very excited for this program to hopefully roll out in early January to start serving youth, so that we can really start making an impact on those that are experiencing homelessness within our communities. So thank you, Jason.
Thank you very much, Teresa. We're now going to move on to programs for individuals who are looking for employment, and we have a number of those. And Kathy Williams leads those programs for us here at ACAP, and she's going to lead the next part of our presentation.
Hi, so I am Kathy Williams, and I am the program supervisor for workforce development here at ACAP. Our goal is to work with people who are unemployed, who are looking for education, looking for employment, whatever that may be. We work with adults, we work with youth. We have a few different programs, and they are income-based for the most part. Our goal is to help them identify what their career path might be. That again, that might be employment, it might be schooling, to help them attain their secondary credentials that will help them overcome barriers to employment and increase their earning potential. We can link them on to training opportunities. Along with that comes a lot of wraparound services that we can provide. Some of them being childcare and travel, because I mean, if you're unemployed and you're going to school or you're just looking for work, those things, you probably don't have the funding to do that. Some people come to us and all they really want to do is they want help finding a job, but they don't have clothing to go on job interviews. We can do some of that. And there's just a long list of support services, wraparound services that we can provide. And I always say to a customer, always ask. I mean, we can only say no, but it doesn't hurt to ask, because 9 times out of 10, the answer is going to be yes. The programs that we actually work with are low-income adults. We work with youth ages 16 to 24. We work with veterans. We work with people who have been dislocated from their jobs. They've been laid off due to no fault of their own. The business might have closed or just downsized. And we try to, say to them, don't screen yourself out. Let us do the screening process to see if you're eligible and what programs you are eligible for. We also have a program right now that's for long-term unemployed people who have been affected either directly or indirectly by the opioid crisis. And that program provides the same services as all of our other programs do. It provides training, it provides job search, it provides all the support services that all of the rest of our programs can provide. And we're here to meet you where you're at. We want to help you whatever decision it is that you've decided is what you want to do and right for you. We want to make sure that you're on that right path for success and not failure. So we do a lot of assessment, interests. What are your interests? And make sure that the interests that you want to be a nurse. You say you want to go to school to be a nurse. Are your interests, do the interests that you have align with that kind of position? So we do some interest inventories. We do some CASAS testing to make sure, which is your reading and math levels, to make sure that you could be successful if you're looking at going to college. We're here to listen to whatever plans you have and help you navigate through those and support you throughout the involvement of our program. Some of the things that I would, we look at also are, what are your skills and abilities? What is your work history? Maybe we can provide you with a work experience. Maybe you've not worked in a very, very long time and you don't have any skills. And this, especially with our youth population. So we try to work with some of our local employers, and the employer would provide them a place to go to work. And we, ACAP, through our workforce development program, would pay their wage for a certain period of time so that they can gain some skills. And also they're going to gain somebody that's going to be a reference for them through this work experience. We also have an on-the-job training program. So that's an employer hires you first, and we reimburse the employer 50% of the wage up to a period of time, depending on what the skills are that they'll be learning. So that's a benefit to the employer, but it's also a carrot for our participants to say to this employer, hey, I'm working with ACAP, and they can do this on-the-job training, which is a benefit to the employer. So those are some of the things that we do through workforce development. When you meet with us, you have a counselor who is, you work one-on-one with them, and just trying to meet the needs of what it is that you want to do and how you want to proceed. We serve everybody in Aroostook County, so we're here to help, and just give us a call.
Great, thank you, Kathy. A couple of things that I heard in there that I just want to tease out for people, and that's that there's services available for both those who are looking to connect into the workforce, but also for employers. So employers should look to connect with us as well. And I know that you've said this before, but not necessarily specifically in this presentation, that people shouldn't rule themselves out before they call and they connect with you, because there are different programs and different opportunities, and income doesn't always disqualify somebody, such as in the opioid program. Exactly.
Income is not always the factor that makes you eligible. It could be many different things. Simply, you could get food stamps, or you could be basic skills deficient, an adult. We have a lot of adults who say, well, I'm not basic skills deficient, I'm not stupid. And we're not saying you're stupid, but if you haven't been in school in a long time and you take a math test, you might test a lot lower than you think. And so if you're basic skills deficient in math, that's going to automatically qualify you for our adult program. And you might not think that you are, and you possibly could be. So again, let us do that screening for you. So certainly, just ask.
I know that I am, and so does our CFO. So I'll just put that out there. I will. There is a question in the posted question for you here, and I don't know that we've been asked this one before. Maybe you have, and I haven't heard it. But somebody wants to know if there are any programs coming up that will work with people that have been terminated due to declining to be vaccinated.
Well, so I mean, we have not. I mean, we don't have a program specific for that. But if they've been terminated, they're not technically a dislocated worker. A dislocated worker, again, has to lose their job by no fault of their own, and generally would be able to collect unemployment. Now, having said that, if somebody, I don't know how unemployment's going to look at that because of the COVID and not getting the vaccine, and so they were let go. I don't know how that's going to qualify. But again, having said that, there could be other factors that are going to make you eligible. Again, I mean, I have a 4-year degree in accounting, but I bet if I had to take that math test right now, I might not be able to do the trigonometry part of it, which is going to, bring my score down, my grade down. So it could be that. It could be that now that you've lost your job, you've applied for food stamps and gotten food stamps. That's going to make you eligible. So there might be a way that they'll fit into one of the programs that we have.
So again,
Always ask.
right, reach out, and it's almost very specific to individuals and individual circumstances. And
Yes.
Kathy in workforce development or other programs will work with you to see what, like, for example, we were talking about home energy assistance program earlier. If you don't quite make the income qualification guidelines, they can work with you about deducting medical expenses and seeing how close you might get. So don't rule yourself out. Contact us and see what we can do and find out with you. Great, thank you, Kathy. We're going to move on now to a program that's also very timely, and that's as it relates to helping individuals to access health insurance through the open marketplace, as it is open enrollment period. And one of ACAP's newer team members who actually came over to us from healthcare, so is well versed on all things healthcare related. That's Andrea White, and we're going to go now to Andrea to talk about our affordable health insurance navigation services.
I know all things healthcare related, but I can certainly find out if I don't know the answer. So as Jason said, I'm Andrea White, and I am an assister for the new coverme.gov platform, which is sort of created for Mainers specifically. So it's a wonderful program. Healthcare.gov, or Obamacare, as a lot of you know it as, was created, but we have taken a lot of those same qualities as healthcare.gov, but we've actually made it more specific to Mainers. So if you're a Mainer, you may not want or need the same coverage as somebody in California. It's not really fair to compare the two. So this is a very Maine specific type of a program. And you basically get to go on, you can go on to coverme.gov and you can start comparing health insurance plans, and they all provide quality comprehensive coverage. So the difference is now is that you can use a lot of those tax credits that you normally get in the form of a tax refund in the spring when you file your taxes. The government is now allowing you to use those tax credits, if you qualify based on your income, towards the premiums that you're paying for your health insurance. So you can get very low cost plans, or you might be able to get a plan, you know, that you never thought you could afford before. And there's actually a lot of plans. We work with the big three. We work with Community Health Options, Blue Cross Blue Shield Anthem, and Harvard Pilgrim. So when you go onto coverme.gov, you start by answering a bunch of questions. You know, your zip code, for example. That's very important. Different healthcare plans work differently in different zip codes, so that's important. Then they're going to ask you your household income. They're going to ask you who your physician is, who your doctors are. You can put up to 6 in there. So if you have specialists and you have a primary care provider and you have all of these other things, you can put them in. Then that way they'll be able to tell you, well, these providers are covered with these plans. The next big question is your medications. And you can put in up to 10 medications in there, and you can find the plans that cover those medications. And some of them might be a tier 1 or a tier 2 or a tier 3, which means you might pay different for this medication on this plan, might be a little bit more with this plan, but essentially your premiums might be lower, but your deductible might be higher. So when you're when you're shopping for your plans and you're comparing, and you can actually do a beautiful side-by-side comparison, it's very apples to apples. And you can look and say, well, this one has a lower premium, but it's got a much higher deductible. And then you kind of scroll down a little bit and you say, well, this one has a much higher or not a much higher premium, but a higher premium, but a lot lower deductible, which a deductible means is what you have to pay out of pocket before that health insurance plan even kicks in. But what the other good thing about it, though, is that there's a lot of plans that cover a lot of preventative care, free mammograms, free physicals, free, you know, that sort of preventative care, sometimes even some free mental health visits as well. And that's a very important thing to look at today if that's where you're at. The other good thing is that they're actually covering pregnant women now. Healthcare.gov did not cover pregnant women. Only once you had your baby, then they would cover you and your baby. But now if you're a pregnant woman, you can get all kinds of services. So it's a matter of getting on to coverme.gov, comparing the plans. If you have questions, you're certainly welcome to give me a call. My personal number here at ACAP is 554-4150. And I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. But if you do want me to sit down with you very specifically and go through the plan and help you set it up, that is something that we do by appointment only. And we can come together and figure out an appointment date and time that works best for both of us. The other thing I wanted to mention was that if you want your coverage to start January 1st, then you need to register, you need to find a plan and get enrolled by December 15th. After December 15th, so December 16th, for example, then you're actually not going to be covered until February 1st. So it's important to kind of get on that right now. And if you have very specific questions and it might be later in the day and you can't get a hold of me, there's a 1-800 number right there that you can call. There's a chat feature that as soon, like when you're on looking at those plans, there's a little green box in the bottom right-hand corner where you can start a chat with a qualified person. So there's ways for you to get help in real time if you need it. But I do encourage folks to get on there, play around, put in your data, put in your income, put in all of that. It's actually pretty easy. Compare the plans. And if you have questions, give me a call.
And just a couple of things to add to that, Andrea, open enrollment is now through, or was November 1st through January 15th?
Correct. Yeah.
And then the other thing of note is that if that program, the information that you enter in that program leads to, or their work with you leads to what looks like they may be qualified for main care, then that process can sort of begin on that platform as well, correct?
Exactly. Thank you for bringing that up. I knew there was something I'd forgotten. So there is actually a really great thing that they're doing now that when you put in your income and all of your information, the magical algorithms that work behind the scenes may tell you that your main care eligible. And if that's the case, then you continue doing what you're doing on that platform and it sends it automatically to main care, and you don't need to reapply at main care. You don't need to do any of that stuff all over again. The information that you put in gets automatically funneled to main care, and then they take care of the rest from there. So it's pretty easy. And I was actually pleasantly surprised when I was getting in there trying to play around with it. And I thought, gosh, if I can do it, most people could probably do it too. But I'm here to answer any questions for you. That 1-800 number that's right there on the screen, there's that chat feature. And we can certainly give you as much help as we can. If I don't know the answer, I have resources I can find out for you. So we'll always be there for you to help.
Great. Thanks, Andrea. And from open enrollment season shortly thereafter, we are going to move to tax season. And that has special implications at this time because of the additional earned income tax credits and other incentives. So we want to make sure we let folks know, especially folks who in low and moderate income categories in Aroostook County, how they can get assistance with their taxes. And to do that, our Director of Advancement, Sherry Locke, who's a partner and our representative with the Aroostook Cash Coalition, is going to talk about those services. Sherry?
Absolutely. Thank you, Jason. Tax time can be very stressful for individuals and families, but it can also be a time of year that allows you to reflect on your finances and put the income that you do have to work for you and your family. So ACAP is very proud to be a partner in the Aroostook Cash Coalition, which is led by the United Way of Aroostook. It also includes members such as Hope and Justice and New Ventures Maine. But really important that this program offers two components: free tax services for individuals who meet the income guidelines, which are very generous for this program, but then also connects filers to an opportunity guide to connect to resources in the community. So after the tax piece is done, the opportunity guide works with the filer to talk about resources that are available and to make those connections in the community. So if during that session, the filer has shared that they have a challenging time paying for fuel, winters are challenging, maybe the resources are home energy assistance program here at ACAP, but it really is about taking a look at individual and household income for the year, making sure those taxes are filed. As we all know, this year, especially the earned income tax credit for families with children under 18, that information and those benefits were sent out based on past filing. So very, very important moving forward that anyone who has earned income especially is filing, but really everyone is filing. There are programs and rebates available for many in our community, including the seniors in our community. So we would encourage anyone who needs help doing their taxes to reach out to the Aroostook Cash Coalition. We're working now on what that process will look like. The program starts in early February, so information should be released in the next couple weeks about how to make those appointments. We're working on a hybrid model, which will include virtual appointments in a scan and go or real in-person sessions. Just want to make it as accessible to the entire community as possible. But again, it's a free program to help with the tax piece, but then there's more to the program, including connecting to resources. Many folks are hearing about the advance payment on the earned income tax credit. Again, that is for individuals who have children under the age of 18 and you had to have filed your taxes to receive this benefit, or there's another process that you can go through. So as we get into this new season, just a very, very friendly reminder to, if you need help with those taxes, to schedule an appointment. The appointments are free and it will really connect you and make sure that you're eligible for all of those other things like the earned income tax credit, the property fairness tax credit, that are directly related to filing income tax. So really, really important. The Aroostook Cash Coalition serves all of Aroostook County. So again, important to know that there are income guidelines on the program, but the guidelines are very high, higher than most of the programs that we serve, and are available for individuals, for families, really for anyone in the community that meets those income guidelines. So be on the lookout in the next couple weeks for what those income guidelines are, how you can sign up, and where those services will be held either in person or virtually. So a lot more information in the next couple weeks, but just make sure it's on your radar. And we really want to serve as many folks as possible this upcoming year.
Sherry, we do have a question related to the tax filing assistance program, and that is that included as a referral or in the referral process in our comprehensive service delivery that Jamie was talking about in the navigation piece?
So I will say that we are working on how to include that. We really feel that this program is of value. So we are working on what that may look like. Our navigators may be doing the outward calls after the tax program. And yes, we will be getting that information out, and our team will be able to make the referrals, but they'll also be able to receive the referrals. When that information is available, it will be posted on the ACAP Facebook page, as well as in our weekly newsletter. So if you'd like to receive that weekly newsletter, you can just put your email address in the chat box, and we'll make sure to add you to that. That newsletter, again, is electronic and does go weekly and does include our most current information. We also update our Facebook page very, very regularly with new programs, and we would certainly, once that information is defined, we would be sharing it there as well.
Just a couple of things to that. For the person who asked this question, the tax prep program is only available a limited time of year. So referring individuals to it now, there's not a resource for it. The other component is that it's not a program that our team leads in terms of the tax preparation part. So we don't schedule the appointments, for example, for this program, although we're going to be assisting that a little bit more. But it is a program that we're going to be doing after the tax tax papers are filed or tax documents are filed, we will be doing that comprehensive assessment with people who apply for that program. So we're in a new phase of the partnership on that program this coming year, where we're taking on more responsibility. And as I think we continue to integrate that work with the work of our agency, hopefully that we will be able to do more navigation to that program from our programs directly. So thank you very much for that question. Sherry, there are a couple of other things that you were going to cover quickly about resources that are available in an urgent matter for individuals.
Yes, just want to remind everyone about the community closet, which is located at the ACAP office next to Walmart. So our 771 Main Street office in Presque Isle. It is underneath our portico, so it is semi-permanent structure that keeps the clothing protected. But that program is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year through the generosity of folks in our community. So you can drop off donations, or you can shop at no charge in the closet. We serve hundreds of individuals in that closet each and every week. There are no income guidelines for that. Again, it is a kind of a give what you can, take what you need program, and it works out really, really well. We have ACAP team members and volunteers that help to kind of keep that closet organized and clothing hung up. But it really is a very valuable resource here in Aroostook County. So if you have clothing to donate, you can donate Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. If you want to bring it inside, if you want to just leave it outside, it can be, again, any hours that you're in that area, you can drop those clothing off, but it makes such a big difference for so many in our community. So just a reminder that that is available. And again, there are no income guidelines. So if you are in need of clothing, especially winter clothing, we do a big ask folks to drop off winter coats and boots and snow pants. So if that's something that you need, I would certainly recommend that you check the closet to see if it can help fill your needs. For anyone here that does service or provides direct service to clients, if you know of a client looking, please spread the word. Or if you see something that would fit one of your clients, you are certainly encouraged to take that and get that to them. But really, that closet is available, and really excited that we're able to continue to offer that all day and all year throughout the year.
Great, thank you, Sherry. The program sector that we're going to move on to next are our housing programs, and we're going to speak specifically about some of the assistance programs around weatherization and improvements to heating systems, as well as home repairs. And the man who just loves to speak publicly about his programs, Randy Rattray, is going to present next. So Randy, I will move it over to you.
Thank you, Jason. Good afternoon, everybody. So today I want to just give a quick overview of the programs our housing team has to offer our customers throughout Aroostook. Earlier, Shannon spoke about the Home Energy Assistance Program and the application process for that program. That application is also a gateway to many of our housing programs. For instance, these programs include the Weatherization Program, the Central Heating Improvement Program, our above ground storage tank replacement program, and our heat pump program. Our weatherization program is intended to reduce fuel consumption in homes that receive the heat program. All eligible HEAP applications are ranked on a point scale, which makes up our WAP rank weatherization waiting list. This weatherization WAP rank is based upon family makeup, poverty level of the family, and the energy cost burden of the home. Households with an elderly, handicap, or child 6 years of age or younger are given priority for the program. And the work that we complete on homes are normally reducing air infiltration into the home, increasing insulation levels in the attic walls and basement walls, weather stripping doors, rebuilding attic hatches, basement bulkhead doors. We also do some health and safety measures, such as exhaust fans, smoke alarm installations, carbon monoxide detectors. And we also provide a heating system clean, tune-up, and evaluation if the home hasn't had one in the previous year. The next program is the Central Heating Improvement Program, which is basically designed to provide safe and efficient heating systems to HEAP eligible households. The work that can be completed under this program is anything from a basic no heat service call to replacing a complete non-working or unsafe heating system. All the work for this program is contracted out to firms within Aroostook that have licensed heating system technicians. The above ground storage tank program is intended to replace residential fuel tanks, also in HEAP eligible homes. Existing tanks must be old, rusty, in danger of leaking, tipping over to qualify for the program. Residents with a private well receive priority over others. The above ground storage tank replacement program is funded by the State of Maine Department of Environmental Protection. And we also have the heat pump program that will install new heat pumps in owner-occupied single-family households that receive the HEAT program. Heat pumps are installed to be a supplemental heat source only, and they're installed to help reduce fuel consumption for households that are eligible for the HEAT program. This program was new a little over a year ago in response to Governor Mills' initiative to install 100,000 heat pumps in the state of Maine over 5 years. In addition to these programs, we have a couple of home repair programs. There's 2 separate programs: the Home Accessibility and Repair Program, funded with state funds through Maine Housing, and our Home Repair Network program, federally funded through the Maine Department of Economic and Community Development. Both programs have very similar guidelines, and we work off the same wait list. To be eligible for the program, you must have owned your home for a year and have income at or below 80% of the area median income established by HUD annually. Income eligible applications are then scored on our wait list and given priorities. These priorities are based on income, liquid assets of homeowners, age of household members, health and safety threats to the household, and the need for assistive services. Each category is assigned a weighted score, and the higher scored projects are done first. The goal of our home repair programs is to provide warm, safe, and dry housing. Work normally consists of repairs or replacement of roofing, septic systems, wells, unsafe electrical, entrance steps, ramps, or any other items that pose an immediate threat to the safety of somebody in the household. If you'd like an application for one of our home repair programs or would like to be added to our heat pump wait list, feel free to give us a call here at the ACAP Housing Office at 768-3023. We also have an email address that you can reach out to, housing@acap-me.org. And I believe there are also links on the ACAP website to reach our programs. If you've got any questions, feel free. Thank you.
Yes, much appreciated, Randy. And certainly we're giving you various phone numbers for individual areas within the agency, but certainly the 764-3721 number will help you access any and all programs and the locations here at ACAP. And yes, the question was asked that there's a referral on this one as well. Yes, that actually sort of automatically happens with a number of the housing programs. Because if you apply for the Home Energy Assistance Program and you are eligible for the Home Energy Assistance Program, you are automatically on the weatherization list. But that is, again, just to underscore what Randy said, prioritized by the sort of the various factors within your home energy usage, the vulnerability of the folks in your home, around age and family category, things of that nature. So that does change. We do about 60 of them a year in Aroostook County, both our crew and partners. So yes, in this particular program, the housing programs are definitely referred by Home Energy Assistance Program because that's the gateway to be able to be eligible for those programs. So thank you, Randy. Our last program that we wanted to cover with you is another pandemic era related program and very topical at this time, and that's the quarantine social support services that we provide to individuals here in Aroostook County right now, individuals who are asked to quarantine or isolate. And so Teresa Dow oversees that program for us. So we'll go back to you, Teresa.
Thank you, Jason. So yes, one of the additional programs that I oversee is our quarantine social support contract. This is a program that was put into place to help individuals or families safely isolate or quarantine if they've been exposed or tested positive to COVID-19. There are many different ways that we're able to help in that kind of situation. Some of the ways that we have helped, for instance, are completing a grocery shop. This could mean that our family coaches or navigators go out and go to one of the local merchants, Walmart, some of the IGAs, Shop and Save, whatever is in the neighborhood or in the area, and complete a grocery shop for the family. So getting those necessities to be able to keep you safe during your quarantine time. We're also able to assist with purchasing cleaning supplies, such as disinfectant wipes or sprays, to help clean down surfaces within your home to kill any bacteria or germs that might be present. We've been able to assist some with fuel oil for those that have been impacted due to isolating or quarantining, especially with the weather getting cold. It's nice to have that little, to provide that assistance. So we've recently been asked to assist with some medical supplies as well, such as Tylenol, thermometers, O2 meters, that some physicians are asking those that have tested positive to use to track what their oxygen level is. So all of those things are important and a necessity to make sure that you're able to safely isolate and quarantine. It's a pretty simple process, but can be a little bit time consuming, up to 10 to 15 minutes to do a referral. So Jason does have the link on the screen for you to be able to go to the maine.gov site to complete the COVID referral that would go to the Department of Health and Human Services. You could also contact the agency and be connected to me, and I can assist you with that process as well. So we do have to ask some questions around if any individuals in your household are vaccinated or not. Those questions are simply asked because it could mean that quarantine time might be a little bit different for you and your family. We ask when you were first exposed. We also talk to you to find out what kind of symptoms that you might have. If you've tested, if anyone in your family has tested positive, or who might be the one that was exposed and has been asked to quarantine. I can also help assist you with getting some information around testing. So I've helped individuals register at Walgreens, for instance, to go in and do their free tests through the drive-through. And most recently, I've helped coordinate and connect some individuals to local walk-in clinics to be able to complete a PCR test. So one of the big things that I also think that this program really does provide is just some emotional support. It could be, you have a family of 4 and that quarantine time could be extended due to different reasons. And maybe you're just having some struggles with having to be in your home for so long, or you're facing some fears. We can help be an ear to listen, and we can also connect you to some services that are available through this program as well. So again, if anyone that you know has been impacted and asked to quarantine or isolate due to being exposed or testing positive to COVID-19, please feel free to reach out to ACAP to see what kind of assistance might be available to you. And I also want to stress that this is a statewide program. So if you have a family member who might be living in the Lewiston area down in Androscoggin County, or somebody who might be in the mid-coast area like Bath in Sagadahoc, there are community action agencies that are able to assist with the same program and meet the same needs that ACAP does. So if you have somebody that may not have access to the internet, but you do because you have a smartphone, as long as you have their verbal consent to complete the form, you're more than able to help get them connected to important resources to be able to safely isolate and quarantine.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Teresa Dow O'Leary. And that wraps up the programs that we wanted to present to you today. As I noted at the beginning, there are many other programs here within the agency, most notably our prevention programs that we did not cover today, and a lot more information and details accessible to you both online and certainly by reaching out and calling us. We do have a few minutes if folks have questions that they want to ask that they've sort of held and would like to give voice to at this point. So if anybody has a question, I would encourage them to unmute and go ahead and ask that question of any of our team members who are gathered here today. All right, then if there aren't any, or if you have some that you would like to sort of follow up with us on, you can certainly email or give us a call. The information's there on your screen, info@acap-me.org. It goes to a general box, and generally that's picked up by our advancement team, and they'll forward that along to the appropriate person. And 764-3721. You can also please do friend us, if you will, on Facebook, and follow us if you have Twitter there as well for regular updates. There's a lot of really good information that our team puts out on social media, and would love to have you stay in touch that way. As Sherry also noted, if you'd like to put in the chat your email address, if you do not receive our ACAP weekly bulletin, which has regular updates and information on these programs and many others that we haven't shared with you today, please do so. And again, I'd like to thank you all for joining us today for this ACAP community information session. I hope you all have a great rest of your week. Thank you, everyone.